past the Hall of Famer Chris Carter. This is Nick Wright, and welcome to spring, everyone. Today is day one, and we know that because tomorrow there's supposed to be snow once again in the Northeast.
Cece, I jinxed us a little bit on the weather in New York. We were walking. It was a few days before Thanksgiving. I was like, you know what? Winter might just miss New York this year. I was wrong. It just came a little late.
So you had a take that didn't quite land?
Didn't quite pan out. Didn't quite pan out. Not quite what I expected in mid-March.
But you're dressed the part. I'm dressed the part. You're dressed the part.
All of us.
Good
First
to go.
day of spring.
Yep. Anything you want to add to the as our Doppler weather guy?
Let's get to the sports.
Fun fact, LeBron James has been alive for 12,133 days. Of those days, he's been the best basketball player in the league, just under 12,133 days. Here's proof. Last night, in what could have been a trap game against the hungry Bucks team, he scored 40 points, grabbed 12 boards, dished 10 assists, and caused 4 in-game tweets from Nick Wright. Cavs beat the Bucks in a game where Kevin Love returned and added 18 points. Chris Carter, you wanted to dive in. We'll start with you. How impressed were you with LeBron last night?
I'm more impressed than the weather in New York City. LeBron, it's just an ongoing thing. How impressed? I can't say I was even more impressed last night because this is where he's at. Like, this is what I expect to see from him. When they traded Kyrie Irving, and with all the injuries, and then the second trade before the trade deadline, this is what LeBron's got to do. Now, I'm more surprised that his body has been able to hold up, that he's been consistent the way he has been the last 30 days. So I wouldn't say I'm impressed with LeBron. It's been it's been a continuum of what we've been talking about. His overall ability to be able to play at this level, at this age, it's astonishing. But it just didn't happen because of last night. Last night was just, they got another player back in Kevin Love, which is able to spread the court, which makes it a lot easier for LeBron. But he's starting to find what he needs to do with this team. This is not a very talented team. They are not going to win unless LeBron plays like this. It's almost like when LeBron was in the finals with the Cavs.
In 07.
Or any of the finals with the Cavs.
Oh, okay.
Like, they will not win unless he plays this way. And in some of those cases, they didn't win anyway against Golden State. But this is how LeBron has to play for them to be able to win. I would say if I'm impressed by something, I'm impressed by the way he's taken the initiative offensively. LeBron is a pass-first ball player. He's probably, of the greatest players in the world all time, he's probably the most unselfish, him and Magic Johnson, of those two. So it's not his natural thing to say, I'm going to score. And sometimes I have a problem with that because he doesn't have the productivity there. He needs to score, and sometimes he defers to the other players. So I'm more impressed with his ability offensively to take the initiative. I'm not impressed with his rebounding, not impressed with his assists, because this is what LeBron has done. But his overall scoring and taking that initiative, I think is very, very important for him. And I believe that's helped elevate his game to a new level.
The reason yesterday was a particularly special performance in this stretch of unbelievable basketball by LeBron James. In February, he averaged a triple-double for the first time in his career for a month. This month, he is a couple assists away from averaging a triple-double. He's averaging 9.2 assists per game for this month, so he might do it in consecutive months. We saw how great he was in his last game out. The reason this one stands out is the circumstances surrounding it. You mentioned Kevin Love coming back. Kevin Love got injured before the trade deadline. So Kevin Love never played a game with George Hill, never played a game with Jordan Clarkson, never played a game with those two guys that played big minutes yesterday. Obviously, Rodney Hood and Larry Nance, the other guys they acquired, are out injured. But also the news yesterday about Ty Lue. The news yesterday where the head coach of the Cavs is going to take a leave of absence dealing with illness. And then also the opponent. A team they are likely to play in the first, I shouldn't say likely, but possible they play in the first round of the playoffs. Right now, the Bucks are the 7th seed, but easily could become the 6th seed. So it's who you're playing, it's the circumstances of the day, and it's the overwhelming performance. The third oldest player ever to have a 40-point triple-double. No player has ever had a 40-point triple-double this deep into their career, games-wise. It was the way he did take over the game whenever the Bucks made a mini run to come back towards them. LeBron, to me, it appeared, said, okay, all right, we're going to get this thing back up to 8, back up to 12. And this ended up being, it was a 17-point game with a couple minutes left before the Bucks made a run that was essentially meaningless. Like, to be playing at this level in year 15 when we are seeing around the league younger players, I should say around the league, but on his team and the Warriors, younger players who are dealing with 3 straight finals, much less 7 straight finals, either deal with mental or physical
even
injury.
if you exclude Golden State, this year in the NBA, there's been more games missed by the players than any game in recent history. So it speaks to, forget Golden State, the rest of the NBA, we've seen more guys get hurt than typically. Almost kind of a mirror of what we saw in the NFL this season when we saw all the injuries all the time. Now, not the catastrophic injuries in the NBA, but games missed are very, very important, and it helps tell part of the story where LeBron is right. The reason why I'm not impressed, when a guy averages a triple-double for a month, then he has another triple-double, been like, well, how are you impressed? Well, I just watched a month of triple-double. So I'm not trying to downplay what he did, but it's what I'm seeing almost every night except the 40 points. I thought that was really special.
So we all talk about how what you do in the regular season is one thing. Every team is going to have to step it up a gear in the postseason, no matter what, offensively or defensively. Does LeBron have another gear in him from what we're seeing?
This is the gear.
So is this the gear? This is what we're going to have to see. So this is the best the Cavs are playing right now?
Well, Rodney Hood's out injured. They don't have their first string or second string center. Obviously, they're just now getting Kevin Love back into the lineup. He came back a week early, which was good news for them. That kind of got buried early in the day yesterday with the Ty Lue news. But will LeBron play better than 29, 11, and 10 on 55% from the field and 42% from 3? That's what he's done since February 1. No, I don't think he'll play much better. I don't know if it's possible to play much better than that. But I think what is to me so impressive is LeBron had to engage the playoff mode early, and it doesn't seem to be wearing him down at all. Despite not missing a game, despite for the second straight year he's going to lead the NBA in minutes, he is able to just sustain this at a super high level continuously. And CC, you pointed out this article yesterday about a Navy SEAL he's worked with when LeBron was dealing with back issues a few years ago, and one of the reasons that's extended his prime to a level we've never seen a guy in year 15 do these types of things. You said the rebounds and assists don't impress you because you're used to it. He is now averaging a career high in rebounds and a career high in assists in year 15. We are running out of ways to say the word unprecedented because all of this is terrain we've never traversed before in the NBA.
Okay, so then let's just talk about Kevin Love coming back to the lineup. How much does he do, and how much did you see last night? And how much more confidence do you have in this team now that he's back?
I'm not going to say I have confidence in the team. This team can't win with absence of talent. Any NBA team, you add an all-star to the team's going to instantly get better. But when you talk about inside help, Tristan Thompson being out, Nance being banged up and injured, when you don't have another big man, so this was necessary. So when you don't have a big man, let alone an all-star big man, then also spacing on the court. You still have another knockdown shooter. In the 22 games Kevin Love missed, the offensive productivity, LeBron did not get help. As a team, they went 12 and 10, but 8 times he got the productivity of 20 points from a teammate. Now, that's why you want Kevin Love back in. Productivity, the guy is an all-star. All-stars aren't just walking down the street. So Cleveland, absent of Kevin Love, I mean, LeBron's all they have, and they have no chance of winning the championship without Kevin Love.
What I was most pleased about yesterday outside of LeBron was not just Kevin Love, but the fact that the Cavs found a way not only to win this game, but to score 124 points once again with no production from their starting guards. Corver was okay. George Hill was a 0, a literal 0 in the points category, and that is a storyline to watch. Because
now we're going to watch George Hill. Haven't I been warning you about George Hill?
The George Hill storyline to watch as far as what are you going to get from him in the postseason? Are you going to have to revert to LeBron essentially playing point guard and playing without a point guard? Because if you do that, you are shortening your available rotation from 8 or 9 guys to 6 or 7 guys. That is something you have to watch right now, particularly if the Cavs were to make the NBA Finals, where you know they're going up against either Steph Curry or James Harden. At least I believe you feel like you're going up against either Steph Curry or James Harden at point guard. Because at this point, Any production from J.R. Smith is a bonus. Like, I can't count on J.R. Rodney Hood, once again, has been the bugaboo for his career, nagging minor injuries. Nance, nagging injury this year, and now George Hill with nothing. Those are the 3 of the 4 guys you got in that trade, and Clarkson, to me, is a couple years away from where you could trust him in the playoffs. So that is something to watch as far as this team's ability, not necessarily to make the championship round, but to be able to compete in that championship round.
All right, Cavs beat the Bucks. They get Kevin Love back. We'll talk more about this throughout the show, but coming up, some good news.